Gathering is a really simple step and it's easy to do. It just takes a little bit of practice. I have a lot of people calling me saying, I can't gather my skirt, please help. And there's just a few tips that you can do to make gathering a little bit easier. The first thing you want to do is put your needle and your stitch on the biggest stitch that it goes. Mine is 5.0, so I have it on the largest stitch. That makes it easy to move the fabric back and forth. The next thing you do when you gather is you always line your first one up, the first line of stitching, on the 5/8 inch. So make sure you go a little bit into your fabric and make sure that your thread is pushed over to the side. You do not back up when you do the gathering stitch. You just start sewing really simple like this, and don't back stitch because then your thread will get caught. And you simply just go like this, and you have your first sewing line is done at 5/8 inch seam. The next sewing line you're going to do is towards the outside right here of the fabric. You line that up with the presser foot, and again move your other threads out of the way, and I'm just lining it right up with the presser foot. And I'm going to again sew but not back up. So you're going parallel to this other line. So you just sew it straight like this, and when you come to the end, kind of pull out your thread and hold it a little bit so that it won't get a knot in it. Now here I've got my nice two parallel lines, and what you do is you take your two bottom threads right here, and sometimes you might need a pin to get this out. I've got the bottom thread and then the second bottom thread, and what I mean by that is on the back side of the fabric. So you can see I've got some on the front side right here, and I have some on the back side. And what I do is I hold these two in this hand and my gathering thread in this hand, and I wrap my finger around the gathering stitch, okay? So I've got them just around there. Then what you do is you just pull gently. You gotta be gentle. Now, if you pull too hard, you're gonna break your threads, and then you have to start over because you can't start halfway in between a gather. So you need to treat your fabric very nicely and gently pull it. And then I just keep wrapping my fingers around, and you just guide and gently, nicely to your fabric. Remember, if you pull it hard, you're gonna break it. So just again, be really nice to the fabric. If you're in a big, huge, you're gathering a big skirt or something, you can also start from the other side, and you can just it doesn't really matter if you gather from the front or the back of the fabric, but you have to get the two pieces of thread that are on the same side. So here I have, right here again, I've got two pieces of thread, and I can gather from this side or that side. And once you get that squared, you can put a pin in here, and you just wrap around your gathering thread so that they won't come undone, just like that. And you can just keep gathering, and then what you do is you pin it in different places and anchor them on both sides, and then you just pull them back and forth to make them really even. And it might be easier to see on this side which is even, or it might be easier to see that, if it's like this, then that's not even because you got a plain spot here and a lot here. But if you just move it so gently back and forth, it goes like this. You want them to just look nice and uniform, so when it's sewn down, they're all about the same size. That way you have a really good gathering stitch. Then after you pin this on, you want to sew along the 5/8 inch bottom part of the gather on your regular size stitches, size 3.5, and that'll be right into place. And there you have a really nice gather.